Okay. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah. After some time, maybe after 2 months time, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then where did we stop last? That is, if my memory is right, we completed post-colonialism.
No, sir. We
No?
have to.
We were doing psychoanalytical theory.
Yes, sir.
Then
And we started Evelyn's story, short story.
We
we-
finished that, right?
did you finish that?
No, sir.
We are halfway through, no?
Yeah. Vespera
Right.
only.
Prospera only, yes. Then
Yes, sir.
psychoanalytic, then we completed reader response and main criticism. Those two theories we completed, no?
Feminist also, sir.
Yeah, yes, not to forget feminism. Yeah, feminism also we finished. Then psychoanalytic gave the background and the fisherman
Yeah.
mourned by his wife also we didn't do, no? Right.
No,
We
sir.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with Evelyn. I told you. So Evelyn is having now. This is Psychoanalytical means mind of the characters are analyzed, right? Okay. So we normally deal with the things like internal struggles within you, that is psychological struggles. Now, the psychological problems that we are having and psychological sufferings that characters or people experience, right? So those are the things that we pay attention most, right? Especially now, the traditionally earlier actions were displayed, then the verbal behavior was analyzed, but later in the modernist period, they started to analyze the minds of the people and minds of the characters and the mental struggles and emotional sufferings. That was quite late of literature, right? So this is as far as Evelyn is concerned, how much was the time expansion I told you? The running time, the story, how much is that? Running time of the story. Story, it starts and ends. How many days, how many weeks it takes? Didn't I tell you? I told you. How long it will take? The running time of the story. Running time of the story is 3.5 hours, right? Time expansion is 3.5 hours. Now she's confronted with the problem. So what she has to do? What she has to do? Aisha Chaturangani, can I hear you? Aisha? She's absent, no? Shamodi? Shamodi? All are absent. Gayatri Pereira, can I hear you? Gayatri? Can I hear you, Gayatri? Irosha Tennakon. Oh, Irosha. I have to mark everybody absent, right? Nobody speaks. Kalapriya. Kalapriya. Kalapriya or Kalapriya. Can I hear you? Kavisha Jayasinghe.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Where do you come from?
I am from Aturugiri, sir.
Aturugiri. There's a baby, no? Right. Good. Kavisha, now, were you there for the last lecture?
No, sir. Really, I didn't.
Really? What is really? Now, have you done Evelyn before this?
No, sir. No.
You have to read it carefully, right? So
Okay.
we are in the middle of that now. Yes, Irosha Tennapon. She also got connected.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, where do you come from?
I'm from Anuradhapura.
Right. That is Colombo Center. What is the center? Anuradhapura Center.
Not Central. Oh, yes, Anuradhapura Center.
Yeah. Then, were you there for the last lecture?
Yes, sir.
Now, Evelyn is facing a problem. What is the problem is Evelyn is facing at the moment?
Psychological struggle.
To do what? What is the psychological struggle she undergoes?
She is undergoing a decision to go or not to go.
That's the only thing that you have written, no? She's undergoing it, she has to
was mentally tired making decision.
She has to make a decision whether to elope with the boyfriend or not.
Not, yes, sir.
Right? Okay. Then her mind is like a pendulum, I told you, right? I told you my mind is like a pendulum, that is like Orlosu Bhatta, moving from side to side, right? So whether to go or not to go, right? Now she feels like going with the boyfriend. Again, she thinks otherwise, right? So it is not advisable, like, right? So then I told you, Evelyn is taken from a short story collection. What is the name of the short story collection? Madhushi or Mahisha? Can I hear you? Huh? And Kudaligama. Can I hear you?
Jones's short story collection, sir.
What is the name of the short story collection? Huh?
Dublinus.
What?
Dublinus.
Dubliners, right? Where's Dublin?
Capital of Ireland.
Capital of Ireland, right? So then Ireland, the capital of Ireland, that Dublin was in the process of urbanization at that time. So that is also now this the process of urbanization is one of the major features of the novel, right? So she is having that psychological struggle. That psychological struggle is made worse, or psychological struggle is made more complex by the urbanization, the fact of urbanization as well, because she's left alone in this town, right? In a village, when you lose your mother with younger ones and all, there is some sort of person who is coming to the help, like aunt or grandmother, or there's somebody to help you. But in a town, you don't have anyone, right? One of the important features of this urbanization is that there are millions of people, but people are lonely, right? Okay, not that one. There are millions of people, right? There are thousands of people around you, right? But people are left alone. People feel loneliness, though there are so many people living, right? You feel lonely when your near and dear ones are absent, right? So why Evelyn feels lonely? What is the main reason Evelyn feels lonely? Can anyone tell me?
Because her mother has died.
Exactly, right? So her mother is gone, right? Mother is not there, right? And she has lost her eldest brother also, Ernest, right? And father is responsible, and he's a little bit too harsh. That has made it so difficult, right? So she's in a situation like that now. She's playing the role of the mother at the absence of the mother, very young girl. And suddenly a boyfriend comes into her life, right? And he gives an offer. Okay, let's go and settle down in Buenos Aires, that is the capital of Argentina, right? Then she has given a word in a way. Yes, I will come with you. He has booked the tickets, right, of the ship, right? Not planes those days, ship, right? And it's a 2-week journey. Then everything is planned, and she's still thinking whether to go with the boyfriend or not, right? Okay, give me a second. I'll bring the text. I thought, Evelyn. Okay, we did the first part on that day, right? That is first passage, right? And I told you there's a very important line that we have passed. Then man from Belfast came and bought the fields and put up houses in it. And unlike our little brown houses, bright brick houses with shining roofs, Fatima, I elaborated that, did I?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
How a village becomes a town, how the empty places of a village is filled with houses. Unlike our little brown houses, bright brick houses with shining roofs, that how classes are created, right? Then it also brings a pressure, right? Okay, then she's going to go away like the others to leave her home. Is that the place that we stopped?
Yes, sir.
Right, first passage, right? Okay, home. Yeah, starting from right. She looked around the home and reviewing all its family objects, and she had dusted once a week. Underline, she has dusted once a week. So much of dust is gathered. That is also a symbol of urbanization, the dust, right? And look at this now. You are also maybe doing it at home. Fatima, you are living in Colombo. Where is Colombo?
Mahabagi, sir.
Mahabagi. Do you have this problem now? Wondering where?
Yes.
Huh? Wondering
Yes.
where on earth all dust came from, right? We always mona lokina me do yesterday I dusted, today it is again dust.
Yes, I hate it.
Yes, that's it. Now that is the nature of urbanization, right? In a village, it does not happen due to vehicles and the other movements and all. There are a lot of dust created. So that's a kind of symbol,
Modernism.
kind of reality in urbanized societies. Purnima, where do you come from?
Gampaha, sir. It is kind of a modernism. Am I correct?
Modernism.
Modern.
Yeah, a modern kind of nuisance, but it's the kind of symbol
At
of
the early stage.
right? As far as,
Yeah.
as far as
Urbanization.
yes, this show story is concerned, urbanization, right?
Yes.
Right? Then wondering where on earth that perhaps she would never see this again. Now she says, I will never see this again because I'm going to leave, but still perhaps is there. That shows the doubtfulness, and now she's not yet decided. She's throughout the story, she's on the fence, right? To go or not to go. Family objects, she has never dreamt of being divided. But yet during all those years, she had never found out the name of the priest whose yellow in photograph, underline yellow in photograph is there. It is yellowish. It is not updated. Hang on the wall of broken harmonium, underline broken harmonium. These two are also symbols used by James Joyce, right? James Joyce, these two powerful symbols to show the stagnant Dublin society, right? Remember, these two symbols suggest the stagnant Dublin society, right? I told you we have already met some symbols. One is dust. Maheshi, dust symbolizes what?
The dust symbolizes urbanization.
Urbanization, right? Then shining roof we met, right? Bright brick houses with shining roof. Shining roof is also a symbol which symbolizes what? The value,
Again,
the
urbanization.
values of
Urbanization, isn't it?
yes, the values of urbanized societies, because whatever it is, you outer shine is so important, right? The roof should be shining. You may be fighting inside the house, right? Inside the house, it must be maybe a hell, but the roof should be shining, right? Outer shine. Empty pocket to not clean suit when on, right? When you are living in Colombo, right? Her father often, yes, then, right?
Excuse me, yellowing photograph and broken
Broken harmonium suggests the
Huh.
symbolize the stagnant Dublin society. Stagnant means not moving, right?
Okay.
Right? So stagnant Dublin society, because photograph is there, yellow is not updated, not repaired, right? Harmonium is broken, but it is not repaired. It's just be like that, right? Those are symbols. Now that's a now there are certain things that you have to learn from these things. Now you should not have a clock in your house, right? Which is stopped. Then it shows that the house is stagnant, right? Within at least within 24 hours, you have to put a battery and work it on. You can't, right? Did you get the point, Purnima?
Sir.
Right?
Yes.
So how in your house, if you have a clock, wall clock, which is stopped, it becomes a symbol, right? Now that shows that our houses are also stagnant. We don't maintain, we don't update, right? Okay. So
Yes.
then a broken harmonium, right? So then After that, now, whenever that photograph is shown to someone, father says, he's in Melbourne now. He's one of his friends, right? Is a priest, right? She had consented to go away, underline, to leave her home. In a way, she has given the word. She has given the word to her boyfriend that I'll be coming with you, right? Okay. Was that wise, underlined? So you can circle that. That is the question she asked throughout the story, right? She's asking for herself. I have given a word to my boyfriend. I'll be coming tonight with you, right? Still asking the question, is that the right decision? Is that the right decision? Right? She tried to weigh each side of the question, underline. She's like having on a, I'm having a balance, taradiyakwa, right? Having a balance, and she puts something on this side, and okay, if I go, what would happen? Then it goes up. Then you put something on the other side, right? Other plate also. Then it comes down and balances. If I go, what would happen? If I don't go, what would happen? So that's the question she's asking, weighing each side of the question, right? Weighing each side of the question. Then in her home anyway, she had shelter and food, underline. Next slide. In her home anyway, she had shelter and food. Purnima,
Yes, sir.
is that enough for you to live?
Food is necessary, sir.
Huh?
But food is necessary, but there are some issues.
The
Food
food and
is with
shelter and food.
mental relief is needed.
Mental relief. Huh?
I mean, like we should be able to control it, right? sir?
Control what?
If we are having suffering kind of a thing, so we are still thinking what to do with that.
Yeah.
Getting a decision.
Now tell me in simple way, what do you need more? If food and shelter is not enough, right? What do you want more?
Caring and sharing, sir.
Yeah,
Love,
some
caring.
in other words, for
Love.
some love.
Love.
And care. Now love from your parents, love from your brothers or neighbors, or
Freedom, sir.
yeah, that freedom and everything is created. Yes, right. Freedom is also a point. Now this is now food and shelter, that is there even in prisons, right? Even in prison you have food and shelter, but it's a punishment, right? Because you don't have near and dear ones, and she said that you don't have freedom, right? So food and shelter is not enough. This may be enough for animals, right? Human beings, that's not enough. Mainly you need love and care, right? Your love, and people should love you, right? Okay. So then that is lacking in the house for Evelyn, right? Okay. Then how could you live, right? Then she had those who she known all her life, known, not right. Of course, she had to work hard, underline, both in the house and at business. Now when we get to know that she's employed also, she's working, right? What would they say, underline, of her in stores when they found out that she had run away with the fellow, right? She's worried about this also, right? Everybody is worried now if she's going to make a decision. If you are going to make this sort of a decision one day, right? You will ask what people would say. She's worried about social stigma, right? Social stigma means samaja kalala, right? When the eldest girl elopes with the boy, the younger girls find it difficult to be given in marriage, right? So the society of Dublin at that time, maybe society like Sri Lanka now, right? You know, isn't that Nushara? Can I hear you? Nusharat, right? Nusharat, can I hear you? Piyumi Jayavardhan, can I hear you? Piyumi Jayavardhan, absent, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, here, is there social stigma when a girl elopes with the boys?
Definitely, sir.
Definitely, yes, that's it, right? She's worried about that one also. What people would say, right? That is another psychological blow, psychological fact, right? Okay, then she had to, right? Then she had run away with the fellow. Then she is giving the answer. She had say, she was a fool, perhaps, and her place would be filled by advertisement. Miss Given would be glad. Miss Given is the employer, right? Miss Given is the employer. She had always had an edge on her underline. Even there, she's not happy. Even at the workplace, she's not happy. This Miss Given, the employer is always had an edge. Especially whenever there were people listening, right? You know that if you want to say something to a person, you have to tell that person individually, that is in private, right? But whenever other people are there, she's criticized, right? Miss Hill, that is Evelyn's surname must be Hill. Evelyn Hill. Miss Hill, don't you see these ladies are waiting? Right? Look lively, Miss Hill, please. Underline. Right? Look lively, Miss Hill, please. Right? The employer says, now Evelyn is working as a sales girl in a shop. Right? Evelyn is working as a sales girl in a shop. Right? That lady says, right? Can't you see these ladies waiting? Ask what they want. Right? Look lively, Miss Hill, please. Right? But here, that is the nature of urbanized societies.
She's having a dilemma in her mind. So concentration is lost here.
Yeah, not only that one, maybe that there are two younger ones to look after. She's cooking, she's washing, she's cleaning, and she has to do all the domestic work, and she has to attend to her father and all. Having done all those things, she has to work. When she goes to work, she must be exhausted, naturally, right?
Yes.
She may be exhausted. Then that's why that lady says, look lively. But what is highlighted by James Joyce here is that her situation is not paid attention. So Miss Given, the employer may know that this girl has no mother, right? Father is not so much of responsible person, and she has two younger ones to look after. Though she's not a mature person, she's burdened with so many responsibilities. Those things are not taken into consideration. Purnima, did you get my point? That is the
Yes,
nature
sir.
of urbanized societies. In
Mm.
villages, it does not happen still, right? Someone comes to help, right?
And sir, this publication, of course, publishers were worried and they were late to publish this choice because of the controversial methods he
Controversial.
has used.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, all the great works are like that, right? Now, yes, I could not tell even Things Fall Apart is concerned. 13th printer that he has taken. 12 printers refused. 12 publishers refused. 13th one, or 13th or more than that, that he has printed only minimum number of copies of Things Fall Apart. Now more than billion copies being printed, right?
This
So that's
Evelyn, of course, like 9 years after writing, of course, 9 years delayed.
yeah, maybe even J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, you might have heard. No, she has gone to different people, but they have
Yes.
declined that. Right now, how many copies are sold? That's it, right? People do not understand that most of the publishers, they don't have that taste, right? Okay, yes, that's good, right? Now she would not cry many tears leaving a store, but in her new home now, one of the major techniques of the show story is flashback, right? Now, with the footsteps of the man, Evelyn goes to her past, right? Okay, now Evelyn goes to her future also, right? Flash forward is also there, right? She's analyzing her future life in Buenos Aires, right? But in a new home, right? Mention that flash forward in a distant unknown country. It would not be like that. Then she would be married, underline. She, Evelyn. That shows the surprise, right? Now there's an interesting sentence. There's no verb there. She, Evelyn, right? I will be married. Evelyn. Right? That shows a surprise. She, Evelyn. People would treat her with respect then, underline. People would treat her with respect then. What is not said there? Ravisha, what is not said?
She's not being treated with respect.
Yes, she's not respected now, right? She thinks that people would treat her with respect then when she goes to her new place, right? She would not be treated as mother had been, underline. That's a very important information. What does it mean? Huh? What is said there?
Her mother was also not treated well.
Mother was treated very badly by the father, right? One of her main aims of the life marriage is that if I would be treated like not the way that mother had been treated, that's enough. අම්මට සලකපු විදියට මට නොසලකුවොත් ඇති, right? Right? So that is one of the expectations, right? Then even now, though she was over 19, underline, she's 19 plus, right? Not 21, not 19 plus 20, like not 21. 21 is the age that you become an adult those days, right? She sometimes felt herself in danger of her father's violence, underline, right? She sometimes felt herself in danger of father's violence. She's still undergoing. This shows psychological sufferings, right? When she's reminded of father's violence, she still suffers. Now, she's not comfortable at her own home, right? That's a very pathetic situation. Home is the place where you are so comfortable, but she's not comfortable in her own home, in danger of her father's violence. She knew it was that she had given the palpitations, underline the palpitation, right? So, Priyadarshini, what do you mean by palpitations? What is palpitation? Palpitation is increased heartbeat, right? Papuwa gahenna gannawa, right? Now, when she is reminded of father's violence, she gets an increased heartbeat, right? Which suggests that she was not at all comfortable at home, right? So the home is supposed to be the, right, the best place for you to be, right? Then when they were growing up, he had never gone for her like she used to be for Harry and Ernest, right? Because she was a girl, underline. But latterly, he had begun to threaten her, underline that, right? So began to threaten her to say that he would do to her only for her dead mother's sake. Father used to say, "Be married chamma නැත්තම් මන් දන්නවා ඔබට කරන දේ." Right? Only for her dead mother's sake, right? Right? She had then he had begun to threaten her, right? And say he would do to her only for her dead mother's sake, right? So brothers are being beaten. He threatens the girl, which can be more damaging, right? Beating or threatening.
Threatening.
Sir.
Threatening can be more damaging because beating,
It fossilizes inside them heart,
that's
Beating
a-
them and they are
make
finished.
them paralyzed.
yeah, even in school days, right? There are teachers who might have hit you, right? Okay, you simply you make fun out of them and you simply forget it most of the cases. But if some teachers have blamed you in such a way that you get hurt, those things are unforgettable. Isn't that, Purnima? There are some
Yes,
teachers
sir. True.
criticize you, right? Those words are more damaging than the blows, right? When a teacher is, it's now you simply forget. There may be a small pain, but you simply forget it. But that words are sometimes, right, more damaging.
It's actively, positively, and negatively both the sides, sir, rather than beating.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it can be very positive also when somebody praises you or give you due recognition, not unnecessary, right? Okay. Yes. Then so he used to threaten, right? Okay, and he would do it only for this. And and now it's not no, and now she had nobody to protect her, underline. Now she has nobody to protect her. What is this? This is very damaging. This is kind of insecurity feeling she has got, right? I have nobody to protect you. Right? Okay. She has nobody to protect her. Then Ernest was dead, and Harry, who was in the church decorating business and was nearly always down somewhere in the country, right? So both the brothers are practically, one is dead, the other one is not at home. Besides the invariable squabbles, underline. Invariable squabble means petty fights, punchi randu, right? Invariable squabble for money on Saturday nights had begun to weary her unspeakably. Why Saturday nights? Right? these workers, now father is working, right? These workers are given week salary,
Payment.
week
Yeah, the
payment.
payment, her salary. It was
Week-
a payday maybe.
Yes, every week on Saturday they are paid. Sunday may be a holiday, right? Okay. Then she has to ask for money, right? Remember that she has to get money to run his family, right? Evelyn has no family, right? That is her father's family that, right? She's running now with a great difficulty, right? Okay. Then look at her sacrifice, right? Began to vary her unspeakable. She always give her entire wages, 7 shillings underline. So that shows she's very sacrificing girl. She doesn't spend any money on clothes or right now. This is any sense or whatever the girls need, right? But she gives her entire wages to run the family. Harry always sent up what she could, but the trouble was to get money from the father underline, right? So you can understand how irresponsible he is because it's his family, right? He doesn't. And the funny thing he says is that he said she used to squander the money. Squander means waste, right? She's not, of course, wasting money. It is he who is wasting money, right? She squander the money, and the other one is very, very funny, very strange that she had no head underlined that he was not going to give her his hard-earned money to throw about the streets, right? Now, he must have no head to say that she has no head, right? She's of course having a proper head. He's the one who doesn't have, right? And I don't, right? And he also adds that, right? I don't give my hard-earned money to throw on the streets, right? මම මේ අමාරුවෙන් හම්බ කරන සල්ලි උඹට පාර විසි කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? So she doesn't squander money. She doesn't throw money on the roads, right? She's the one who is spending it carefully, right? But he's very reluctant to give money. He has to fight and much more. And he was usually fairly bad on Saturday night, underline, fairly badly on Saturday night. That may suggest drunkenness, right? And because as far as Dubliners is concerned, at that time, Dublin, right? So people now, this is a common issue in the short story collection. Dublin is this drunkenness of people in the evening. People are drunk and they go and sleep and they are working like machine. I told you, right? Then harder, right? So then he said, in the end, he would give her money and ask her, she had any intention of buying a Sunday's dinner. Underline, buying a Sunday's dinner. What do you mean by Sunday's dinner? This is Saturday. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by Sunday's dinner? Sunday's dinner is that normally we say a Sunday best is the best clothes and all. So good meal, right? මෙන්න සල්ලි මට කටට රහට මොනවා හරි කන්න ඕනේ, right? So you must give me a good meal now, right? So look at this girl, right? So finally he used money late in the night, right? And now she had she could and do her marketing. She now with the money she has to rush out as quickly and do the marketing, holding her black leather purse tightly in her hand. You can picture, right? Having the money in her hand, right, tightly, because there are pickpocketers, there are people to snatch your money. This is a town, right? All these things are suggested by James Joyce, right? And she has to elbow her way through the crowds. Elbowing her way through the crowd suggests what?
Making way through the crowd, sir. With I mean pushing overcrowded, sir.
Yes, exactly. So many people, right?
Yeah,
So many
the
people.
crowd is very much, and she couldn't manage her way, just easily sneaking through.
What is the point I was making? Though there are thousands of people, she's left alone, right? Okay, there are thousands of people in the city, but Evelyn is alone, right? Evelyn feels lonely, right? There is one of the reasons why she has decided to go, right? Okay, she could then elbow her way through crowds and remain and returning with load of provisions, right? All the things go, and she comes. She had hard work to keep the house underlined, right, together, to see that 2 young children who had left to her charge, underline, went to school regularly and get their meals regularly. What is that? That is her main responsibility. Her main responsibility is that there are two younger ones under her charge to see that they go to school and see that they are regularly fed, right? They are regularly fed, right? And regularly going to school, right? Okay. Then this meals regularly. It was hard work, hard life, underline. I told you, giving a very big description. James Joyce always summarizes, right? Right? This summaries that it's hard work, hard life. Already explained what hard life, what hard work. But now she's going to go away. She was about to explore another life with Frank, right? Again, her life goes to future. Frank was very kind, underline, manly, open-hearted. So any girl would love to marry a boy like Frank, right? Kind-hearted, manly, not girlish, right? Okay, and open-hearted. Open-hearted in the sense that there's name symbolism also. Frank means honest, right? So there's name symbolism used by James Joyce. Like his name suggests, he's frank, he's open-hearted, right? She was to go away with him, underline, by the night boat to be his wife, to live with him in Buenos Aires, where he had a home waiting for her, right? He says, I have put up a house in Buenos Aires. Let's go and settle there, right? Okay. She said yes, and he has booked the ship, right? The book is leaving 8 o'clock in the evening, right? Right? Has she packed her bags, Amaisha? Has she packed her bags? The time is 3:30 now. Now 4 o'clock.
Yeah, she's ready to go, but I don't think she has much of things to pack with her.
Whatever the things she has she packed
Yeah.
or not? I'm asking.
Not yet, sir.
No,
Because she's struggling. She's weighing her heart.
no, she has
No.
packed. Right? She has already packed. And done what else? There's something else she has done. What is it? She has already written 2 letters, right? One to her father and other to her brother, right? Everything is done, but she still undecided, right? Mahisha, you know how I know that she has packed? I saw,
Through the word, everything is done, maybe.
right? Okay, we'll see, right?
Yeah.
I saw she was she packing, right? Okay, then she was to go away with him with the night boat and to be his wife, to live with Buenos Aires, where he had home waiting for her. Now, how well she remembered the first time she had seen him, right? Okay, this the romantic, right? Romantic first meeting. He was standing at the gate, his peak cap pushed back on his head. And there are caps like that push from the both side, and that cap normally covers your eyes also. That was pushed back, right? And there was a kind of hair coming onto the forehead, right? So that's he was standing at the gate, and then he and his tumble of forward face of bronze, right? Then she had come to know each other, right? Then they had come to know each other. Nangi, they came to know each other, right? He used to meet her outside the stores. Afterwards, when she finishes her work, he's there, right? And he accompanies Evelyn home. In between, they talk, right? So that is their meeting, right? First meeting, first few days, right? Only 3 months, right? He used to meet outside the stores and evening, and then he took her to see Bohemian Girl. Then he invited her to go to see a soap opera. At that time, there's soap opera. Bohemian Girl is a soap opera that is musical, like drama, right? Exaggerated actions and all you find in soap operas, right? Bohemian Girl. And she felt elated, underline. She felt elated means extremely happy, right? So it is said that balcony and right? So then she felt, and sat an unaccustomed part of the theater. That is unaccustomed part of the theater means expensive seats, right? Because she might have gone to theater with normal seats that we go second class, first class, or ODC, right? This is balcony, right? Part of the theater with him. He was awfully fond of music, underline. That's what I told you. Any girl would love to have a that kind of a boyfriend, that kind of a husband. He loved music and sang a little. People knew that they were courting. And when he sang about the lass that loves a sailor, underline, sang about the lass that loves a sailor. She was singing a song uh, about a girl who has fallen in love with a sailor, right? That is, in other words, Evelyn's song, Naviyanani or something, right? That sort of a song, right? She always felt pleasantly confused, underline, right? This is what pleasantly confused is what is the technique used by James Joyce? Can anyone tell me?
Yes, two opposite words. I can't remember the name of the technique.
What is the name of the technique? Yes, right? The technique is called oxymoron.
Oxymoron.
Oxymoron, right? So refer to the book. Fatima, have you got that book? Indispensable
Yes,
literature.
I wrote down it in a paper with all the short notes. I suddenly forgot the word.
Right, that's it. Okay, then pleasantly confused means that is, now if it is confused, it cannot be pleasant, right? Pleasant is a positive word, confused is a negative word, right? It's like hot ice.
So two contradictory things put together.
Two contradictory words put together. Things put together, it becomes a paradox, right? Okay, then antithesis also there, right? Then here two contradictory words put together. Hot ice. If it is hot, it cannot be ice, right? In Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare says, parting is a sad sorrow, right? Parting is a sad sorrow. If it is sad, parting is a, parting is a happy sorrow. Parting is a sweet sorrow. Parting is a sweet sorrow. If it is sweet, it cannot be sorrow. If it is sorrow, it cannot be sweet. So that is right. Open secret, right? Original copy. If it is original, it cannot be copy. No? If it is copy, it cannot be original. Purnima, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
What is the technique called?
Oxymoron.
Oxymoron, right? Oxymoron, right? In the book, it is explained. Find out, right? Have you got the book, Swati?
Page
Yes, I
148.
do
sir.
have. I read it entirely and I took down notes as well. There are a few techniques that I have an issue with the terms. I always find that in every lesson. Technical terms I forget.
Yeah. What do you think of the book?
It's very useful, sir, even for an O-level student, I mean, for them to remember the techniques.
That's all. Okay, ask them to buy, right? Then lesson එක යන මැද්දේ ඇඩ් එකක් යනවාඩ, right? ඇඩ් එක යනවා මැද. ආයි එනවා සම්බන්ධතාව මැදිරියට. දැන් අපි ඉන්නේ මැදිරියට. Right, then boy, right? So he used to meet her outside. Yes, then pleasantly confused, right? He used to call her Poppins out of fun. Pet name එකකින් කතා කරන්නේ පැටියා, කිරියා වගේ නමකින් තමයි Poppins, right? Out of fun. First of all, it had been an excitement to have a fellow. Then she had begun to like him. He had tales of distant countries. He had started as a deck boy at £1 a month, underlying deck boy as a pound, which suggests that he's very outspoken. He says that he started very low, right, and came up on the society, right? Then he told her the names of the ships he had worked, and he had sailed through the Strait of Magellan and told her the stories of terrible Patagonians, that is pirates, right? Pirates again. He had fallen onto his feet, and Buenos Aires, he had said, had come over to the country just for a holiday. Of course, her father had found out the affair, had forbidden her to have anything to say. So father got to know the affair, and he says, no, don't talk to him, right? And he says, I know these sailor chaps, right? I know these sailor chaps, underline, right? Piyumi Jayawardena, can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Now, what does that suggest? I know these sailor chaps. I know these sailor chaps means what? What he means? Oksana Stanley, can I hear you? Oksana Stanley. Hello? Hello, can I hear you? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
No. Oksana Stanley. The RS, can I hear you? Who is RS? Huh?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. RS means?
Sir, Ravindu Sanjan.
Ayo, put the name.
Okay,
Right? Your PSLM. Huh? There's a film, PSLM 2. At least put at RS2 or 103. Right. Ravindu, what you are Ravindu, no Ravindu?
Yes, sir.
It's nice to have a male voice, right? Okay. Now I'm asking you, I know these sailor chaps, what father tries to say? The sailors are famous flirts. They are flirtish people. No? Sailors go from country to country and have women in every country, right? They are
It suggests that they are
Like
fabricating
unfaithful guys.
which who fabricate.
that's us. අපි නොදන්න sailors ලා එහෙමනේ තාත්තා කියන්නේ. අනේ අපි දන්නේ නැති sailors ලා අපි දන්නේ දුම් ගැන. We know the sailor chaps. Right? We know the sailor chaps. So sailors are not now what he says is that Frank is not serious. Right? Don't be cheated by this false love. Right? Don't be cheated by this false love. Anuradha Indaratna, his father. Somebody's microphone is on. Somebody's microphone is on. Right? You can talk to me. What's your name? Right? Don't let the background people or the family members to talk. Right? Everybody hears. Right? There are 81 in the class. If everyone put the microphone on, nobody could, right? Everybody could hear. Yes, if you talk to me, we are ready to listen, right? Okay, not your family members' voices, right? Okay, then they also can join after paying Lincoln University. Your family members can join, right? They are welcome to the lesson, right? Yes, okay. I know these sailor chaps. One day he had quarrel with the Frank, and right then quarrel with Frank. That the evening deepened in the avenue. Underline and put number 2 there. Evening deepened in the avenue. RS did not talk to me. Absent. Randini. Randini, can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Randini, the evening deepened the avenue number 2. What is number 1?
Sit at the window in the evening.
Yes, sir. In the beginning.
That is the window.
I said put number 1. What is it?
Watching the evening invade the avenue.
Evening invade the avenue, number 1. Evening deepen in the avenue, number 2. Now, evening invade the avenue, I told you it may be 3:30. What is the time now? That means evening deepens the avenue means time. What is the time now?
Past the evening time.
Was what? Huh?
Sunset
okay.
like 6
The
6
sunset. It's
After-
yeah,
after
it's nearing
evening.
the night.
Nearing the night. That means 6:30 light. Huh? It is 6:30 light. Shashi Nagodage. Shashi Nagodage, can I hear you? Susani, if you don't speak to the mic, you mark it as absent.
So this shows the time expansion of the short story.
Yes,
Right.
time. Now almost two hours gone. She has been thinking from 3:30 to 6:30, or almost 7 light, right? You know, the white of 2 letters in her lap grew indistinct. Underline. You can understand white of 2 letters. There are white letters in her lap. Now only we get to know that she has been thinking, and by the time she's there, when she sat in the chair at the window, leaning her head against window, and she had two letters, white letters, right? Purnima, I told you these two letters are for whom?
One is a brother and other one is a father, sir.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I told you that she has already packed. She has written letters. Everything is done. She has even got dress. Right? Everything is done and she's waiting till the time comes. Right? Then the other, one was to Harry, the other was to her father. Ernest had been her favorite, but she liked Harry too, the second brother. Right? Her father was, suddenly she got the idea that her father was becoming old lately. Right? Father was becoming old lately. She noticed he would miss her because now without her, he may be helpless. Right? Sometimes he would be nice. Right? There are two occasions come to her mind. Again, flashback. Right? Where father had been so nice. Okay, there are two occasions. First is, right? Then my father was becoming, sometimes he would, not long before, quite recently, she had been laid up for a day. She was sick for a day. And he had read her out a ghost story and made toast for her at fire. Now he had prepared her meals and now at the bed, he was reading a ghost story for her because she may like ghost stories, right? So there are occasions where father had been so nice to her, right? Though he threatens, though he fights, right? Okay, so she was reminded of that one and she was touched by that. Then there's another occasion that's a long time ago, right? They had gone for a picnic to Hill of Forth. Hill of Forth is a name of a place like Nuwara. They had gone to a trip to Nuwara, right? She remembered her father putting on a mother's bonnet, underline, to make the children laugh. She put them, he put the mother's hat and bonnet is their hat, right? And made children laugh, right? Those are the two occasions where she remembered he was very nice. Otherwise, he was coming with the black thorny stick to beat them, right? Black thorny stick to beat them. We have already got to know, right? Then her time was running out, but she continued to sit by the window, leaning against the window curtains, right? Again, now time was running out. I told you that she was, right? She's, it is like 6:30. She's still thinking like this, right? Leaning the window, she's thinking, right? She hasn't done anything. She's tired of thinking, right? She's tired of thinking, not doing anything else, right? Then it would have, time was run, then down in the, right? Then leaning her against, inhaling the odor of dusty cretonne. I told you the curtain comes, when it comes down, it touches her nose, she gets the smell of dust, right? Down in far in the avenue, she could hear street organ playing, underline, right? She could hear a street organ playing. She knew the air, right? She knew the air means what?
She's familiar of that place only. She's very much familiar with the things, the surrounding and all.
Now she
You
hears,
know what is coming in future?
she hears a flute music, right? Sometimes flute music.
That means that's the signal or the time for them to part.
She
I
knew-
mean, to start the journey.
She knew the air means she knows the tune, right? Now, if
Okay.
you have heard of this flute playing of those days, there was a radio drama called Monarathanna and Muam Palace. If that flute music is even played now, we can recognize. It's a good reminder. Music is a good reminder, right? Music is a good reminder. She hears this sound, right? She hears this sound. She knew the air. She knows the tune, right? But she had only heard only once, right? She had heard this music only once. When? That is the most important thing. She knew the air. That it could, then she was surprised. It should come that very night to the remind her of the promise to her mother, right? So she could hear this flute music on the day her mother died. Her promise to keep the home together as long as she could. She remembered the last night of her mother's illness, underline. Last night of the mother's illness. She was again in a close dark room. At the other side of the hall and outside, she heard melancholy air of Italy, right? ලස්සනට flute සද්දයක් ඇහුණා when mother was breathing her last. අම්මා පණ දිනවා එතකොට, right? In the room. තාත්තා කිව්වා මොනම යක්ද යකෝ මේ වෙලාවේ මේ organ music ගහන්න කියලා. He goes out and he paid the he gave some money to that man and asked to stop, right? The organ player had been ordered to go away, given 6 pence. She remembered, because this is a crucial day of her life. It is a crucial day of anybody's life, Maisha. What is the crucial date of Evelyn's life?
Her mother's death, last
day-
breath, the period
day
of that time.
Mother died, right? Okay, the day that so every detail could be remembered, right? Every detail could be remembered. Then organ player had given 6 pence, and she remembered her father scooting back into the room. Father was muttering back into the room, damn Italians coming over here. Me ඉතාලිකාරෝ මේ වෙලාවේ ඇවිල්ලා මේ organ ගහනවා මෙතන. එහෙම කොඳුර he came into the room. She could still remember, because that's such a very painful day of her life. As she mused the pitiful vision of her mother, life it's a spell on a very quick of her being. The life of underlying commonplace sacrifices closing in final craziness, right? So she felt, my mother died untimely because of the commonplace sacrifices, right? Commonplace sacrifices, right? So this is a very important thing that for you to understand. Mother never thought of herself. She sacrificed her life for the family. She thinks as a result of that one, finally she went mad, right? Okay, commonplace losing final craziness. She remembered the began again the mother's voice saying constantly with full instance. She was just muttering nonsensical things like, right? Shikibikia, Kushi Shiva, Kikibishia, Kushi Shiva. It has no meaning. Mother was muttering something, but there are certain meanings. Then it is said that there was a man breathing his last. Father was breathing his last. Her 3 children are around, right? Her 3 children are around. Then he was saying a lot of things. He says, ගෙවල් දෙක තුනකට එහා පෙරේරා මහත්තයාට මම රුපියල් 3000ක් ණයයි අරවා මේවා කියවම කියනකොට the children say මොලේ විකාර වෙලා වගේ නේද, right? එහෙම කියලා ඉස්සරහා පෙරේරා මහත්තයා මට රුපියල් 5000ක් දෙන්න තියෙනවා. One of the children says, ඔය හොඳට 100 තියෙන්නේ, right? ඒ ගන්න තියෙන දේවල් 100න් කියන්නේ, right? දෙන්න තියෙන දේවල් 80න් විකාර, right? ඒ වගේ final craziness උනාට not all the time same, right? Okay, she remembered then Deruvan Sarwan is that what she was muttering, nonsensical words, right? Nonsensical word. Then suddenly she stood in an impulse of terror. Escape, she must escape. Suddenly she stood, she got frightened, and the message given to her was in her mind, subconscious mind, escape, right? Sanduni, arambe vatta. Can I hear you? Sanduni?
Yes, sir.
Right? Why is she arambe vatta? Where do you come from?
I'm from Kadwela, sir.
Right. Teacher or somebody? What are you doing?
I'm a teacher, sir,
Where are you teaching?
in an international school, sir.
Right. Why she was given the message escape? Why she got frightened and stood up from the chair suddenly? Why she got frightened?
She must be thinking that the thoughts that are related with the family won't let her to go out.
Yeah. Yes. Good. Right. Sapna, Naodi, Sashita Pereira.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why she got frightened, like why she stood up and why she got the message escape?
She might be feeling that what happened to her mother, she would also have to sacrifice her life
Exactly.
for her
Very good.
family.
Very good, very good, right? She felt that what happened to her mother might happen to me, right? My mother was sacrificing everything for the family. I was also doing that one. My mother went mad at the end. I also might go mad. Before I go mad, I must escape, right? I must escape. So that's why she got the message. Escape. She must escape. Frank would save her, underline. He would give her life, perhaps love, right? But again, on the fence, perhaps love. For perhaps love, you can't marry a person, right? Can you marry a person for perhaps love, Sapna? Huh? Can you marry a person for perhaps love?
No, sir.
Yeah, you have to have. Perhaps is uncertain, right? What is the meaning of Sapna?
Dream.
No, don't dream now, huh? Right? Okay. Then yes, counter sacrifice. She remember, right? Then she would give her life, perhaps love, but she wanted to live, underline. She wanted to live. As we found, she's not living in the south. She's just surviving, right? Food and shelter is enough for surviving. To live, you need love, you need care, you need certain things to attend, right? So Evelyn was just surviving in the south with shelter and food. She says, now I want to live, right? I want to live. She wanted to live. Why should she be unhappy, right? Throughout the life, she can't be unhappy. She had a right to happiness, underline. We all agree. She has a right to happiness. Frank would take her in her arms. Fold her in her arms. Frank, hold in her arms, right? He would save her, right? He would save her. In other words, he would give me the necessary protection that I need, right? Okay. She stood among, right? Then, so she left, right? The next scene is at the port. The next scene is at the port, right? Okay. She has packed up her clothes. She has put the bag, everything into bags. She has written the letters, right? Then she went. Now she's at the port, right? Only two scenes are there. First scene is at home at the window. The second scene is at the port, right? And at the port, boyfriend, Frank is taking her hand, right? Okay. She stood among the swaying crowd in the station in the north wall. He held her hand and she knew that she was speaking to her. He was speaking to her, yeah. He was explaining something on the passage and all, but she still did not hear, right? Now, Shashi, Susani, can I hear you? Susani, can I hear you?
Sir?
Yeah. Where do you come from, Susani?
Kalpana, sir.
Sorry?
Kalpana.
Halmoni. Yes, good. Right. Susani, now, she now here to then now he was holding her hand. He was talking to her. Why Evelyn doesn't hear anything, Susan? What do you think?
Even if she was with him, she won't be able to be happy. She must be thinking about her brothers and father.
Yeah.
Still,
Good.
she wants to be with them also,
Yeah.
and she
Still
wants to live also.
She hasn't made a decision, right? She came to the port thinking that she would be going, but still she's on the fence. She's undecided, right? She's undecided. So that's her, right? Then she did not hear. The station was full of soldiers with brown baggage, and through the white doors, and she saw a glimpse of the mass of the boat. Lot of boats can be seen lying beside the quarry wall. There are walls made of stones with illuminated portholes. She answered nothing, underline. He was talking to her. She answered nothing because she did not hear. She felt her cheek pale and cold. Still, her cheeks are pale and cold. She's very stressed, right? And out of her maze distress, she prayed to the God to direct her. But in her subconscious, in her mind, she was praying the God. Please, God, guide me. Tell me what to do. To go or not to go. You tell me, right? Okay. The director show her what was her duty. What was her duty when a crew is given, right? We know what her duty is, right? The boat blew a mournful whistle, right? underline mournful whistle. This is something to do with the moods, right? What do you mean by mood now? Okay, let's say, right now, Vidurangi, can I hear you? Right, what is this message? Mandari, Anurutta, right? Can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Right, what this message says? You are the one who has typed this message, no?
Yes, sir, yes. It was the answer for sir, what does Evelyn's father means when he tells her like, I know these sailor ships.
Yeah, what do you think? What he means? Now, tell me the summary of it.
I think like sailors are going here, like they are traveling around the world and not stick to one place. And the father
Yeah.
thought that he would
Yeah.
cheat on his daughter.
They are not very serious with love, no?
Yeah, yes, sir, yes.
Yes, that's it, right? Others also can read that message. Even I don't have time to read it and understand what it is. Yes, good, right? Okay, back to the point we are now. That is Anuttara. Anuttara, where do you come from?
I'm from Mirigama, sir.
Working somewhere?
No, sir, not yet.
Yes, right. College of Education?
Yes, sir.
Right. Pastunrata?
No, sir. Mahavali, Candy.
Right. She prayed to the God to director, right? So what's her duty? What is Anuttara her duty? Like, what is the
looking
duty?
after her family, like her brothers and her father.
Is it her duty or parents' duty?
It's obviously parents' duty, but she doesn't have her mother. Then her father is not responsible for the work in the family, and she has to look after her brothers.
Yeah. Right. Yes. But that has become her duty. Yes, at the absence of mother, because she has made a promise to her mother. Right. Okay. Then that is what I could not highlight that one. Right. Then the flute music reminded her the promise to her mother. She made a promise to her mother when mother was breathing her last. Mother took her hand and promised to keep the home together as long as she could. Right, as long as she could. Right. පුළුවන් තරම් කල් දුවේ මේක ගෙදර එකට තියාගනින් කියලා. So she made a promise to her mother. That promise is finished or unfinished, we could see, right? With Frank streaming towards Buenos Aires, right? So then she should be going with Frank if she goes today, right? Then but she's still praying, right? Then their passage had been booked. Could she still draw back now? At the last moment, she's asking herself, can I say no to him? Draw back after all she had done. Now, what I was this mournful whistle. What I said is that in the mood now, she was in a distressful mood now. The horn of a train. Now, Anuttara may know. Anuttara living close to Mirigama railway station, or you hear the sound of railway station, no? Mirigama, right?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Yes, the horn has no particular feeling into that one. That is, there's a horn being played, right? But if you are in a sad mood, you hear it like a sad, mournful song, mournful way, because you hear like you that is because of your.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Why some people they say that gecko sound chick chick? They say it's a bad omen and all.
Yeah, that's misbeliefs that we have in our society, right? What I'm saying is that sometimes normal sound can be very mournful sound if you are in a bad mood. If you are in a happy mood, that sound becomes a catchy sound or happy sound, right? So that depends on the mood that you are in, right? Okay, then that's it, right? So then could still be right, her distress or nausea in her body, and then a bell change upon her. she felt herself, him seize her hand, come. The bell means, even now, that when the long distance trains are, before the trains leave, there's a bell being played, right? Rohunu Kumari, Udrata Manike, then Rajarata Manike, before they go, about 2 minutes before, there's a bell being played, right? Or then traditional cricket ground, that is, what is the London? Ashes Park. Huh? Lords. Before the test match begins, the bell is being played, right? So, okay, the bell is being played, right? Likewise, there's a bell. The bell means that after 2-3 minutes, the ship will leave. Then he draws her to get in. Come. Then when he calls come, when Frank says come, what she felt all the seas of the world, underline, tumble about her heart. Right? All the seas in the world. He was drawing her into them. He would drown her. So she got such an insecure feeling that he would put me into trouble. Right? No way that I can go with him. Right? She gripped drown her. She gripped with both hands at the iron railings. Now, like in stations and all, there are iron railings coming down, like in buses. She gripped iron railing, right? Come, no, it was impossible. She did not say, but she did not go, right? Her hands clutched the iron in frenzy. No way that nobody could take you away, right? Amid the seas, she was gonna cry. Then he got into the ship and he was calling her, Evelyn, Eve. The ship was moving, right? He rushed beyond the barriers and called her to follow. He was shouted to go. Oya yanna kila kiwa. She can't even remember that, right? You better go. I can't come. He was shouted to go. He was shouted to go by Evelyn. At to go, but he still called her. She set her white face to him, passive like a helpless animal, underlined. Her eyes gave him no sign of love, or farewell, or recognition. She's having a very empty face. No emotions were they are written. However, she made a decision, right? She made a decision. Vidurangi, what is the decision she made? To go or not to go?
Not to go.
Not to go, right? She made the decision to not to go, right? So you can understand the whole thing is an emotional struggle, right? The whole thing is an emotional struggle, right? There's not a single word. Only word that you find in the stories that Frank says come, right? So father says, I know the sailor chaps. That is not said in the story. Evelyn is reminded of that comment, right? Her mind, she hears that it was not said. The only word that is uttered in the story is come by Frank. Rather than that, there's not a single dialogue in the story. Why there's no single dialogue in the story, Anuttara? Why there's no single dialogue in the story? Because it's a psychological analysis. It's not a verbal analysis. It is not an action analysis, right? It's a psychological analysis, right? The story doesn't contain any dialogue, right? It is an interior monologue, right? That is explained in my book, right? Interior monologue. Interior monologue means Evelyn is having a conversation with her heart and mind, right? Internal monologue, right? Internal dialogue, right? So you don't find anything outside. That is right. So that is psychoanalytical criticism, right? Psyche's analyze, right? Psyche's analyze. She's the whole mental struggle of 3.5 hours to make a decision, right? Throughout those times, she has been trying to make this decision. She took that decision at the last moment, right? She took that decision at the last moment. Shashi Nagodage, can I hear you? Yes. Shashi? Microphone works. Talk to me. Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Right? What do you think? The decision she made is the right decision or wrong decision?
A right decision, as I think.
Hmm.
She listened to her heart.
She listened to her heart. Right? Now, don't you think that same thing might happen to her? What happened to her mother might happen to her. And she promised to her mother to keep home together as long as she could. Right? She can argue that, okay, as long as I could, I looked after. Now I have to have my own life. Otherwise, same thing might happen to me. So, and what is the other reason that she should have gone? Right? Udani, can I hear you? Udani Kandangama. Can I hear you, Udani? Huh? Oh, absent, no? Shamali Ratna Vibhushana.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Where do you come from?
Gampa.
Gampa. Where about Gampa?
It's close to Gampa and we call Ganimula.
I know Paul Ganemul. I know I'm from Gampa. I'm from Kalagidi. Right. Not now. I was. Right. Then Shamali, now, what is the other reason why she should have gone with now, if you think going is the right decision,
Yeah.
what is the other reason that she should be going? Now you must find reasons. What are the reasons for her to go? What are the reasons for her not to go? Right? Okay. What are the reasons for her to go? Right? Now, do you think that she might meet again a person like Frank to be married? Shamali?
That is depend on the situation. As I'm
You
not.
think that you might meet a better person, and it's good that to forget Frank. Is that what you think?
According to the family, according to because she has some lot of responsibilities. To compare in that, she might feel like felt like that miserable ideas that because she doesn't know what she have to do in the future.
Yeah.
Quite miserable.
Vidrangi, can I hear you, Vidrangi? Huh? Vidrangi? RS.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? She made the right decision or wrong decision?
I think she made a right decision.
She stayed at home, and why you think that she made the right decision?
So is it that out of her guilt conscious she might have suffered though she has gone with the promise she made to her mother because she is very attached to the mother?
Is there a guilty consciousness?
No, later she might develop it because she made a promise to her mother.
That promise is unfinished. So far, she has no guilt, remember.
Yeah, so far no. If she had left. Sir, the line is getting stuck, sir.
Is still going to school. Still they are young. So in the case, what she may would be right. There are other things like saying English.
So we can't hear you properly.
Yes, sir, line
Sir,
is
we can't hear you,
we
sir.
didn't hear anything.
It's glint, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. I don't know why it was anyhow. Now, yes. Now there's a saying in English that now known devil is better than unknown God. Right? We have thought like that. Known devil is better than unknown God. Who's the known devil?
Her
Who's the
father.
known devil? Father. Unknown God is
Frank.
Frank, right? So then, and she knows only Frank for 3 months, right? So that is also very argumentative. 3 months is not enough. Then you can ask how much time you want. Even 30 hours, 30 years may not be enough, but still we can consider 3 months is a short period of time. And this, though father had been very harsh, but there are occasions where father had been nicer, right? When she was sick and all, right? And she has shelter and food in this house, right? And how do you argue that that is the right decision? She has food and shelter in this house, Fatima. How do you argue that she made the right decision?
Sir,
Where she goes, she might not have even that, not a share, not
Yes.
share.
And she's
She might
faithful.
yeah, she might lose even those two, right? Okay, how could now, in case she's let down, there's no way that she can come back because Buenos Aires is thousands miles away. Then we can argue that she should not take such a risk. At the same time, we can argue that right? Is it my fault or you're not getting disconnected, no?
No, sir. We can hear you, and once in a while you're getting disconnected. Then.
Yeah, maybe that
Sir, voice is not clear, sir.
not clear.
Yes, sir. Sometimes
It's clear now. Once in a while there's a glitch, sir.
Yeah, it happens because the internet connection becomes unstable. Right. Then I told you that Evelyn is a very sacrificing character, right? And you can argue both ways. That is the psychological struggle that you can say that her decision is right, and you can say that her decision is wrong, right? Because you can't expect such a person to be met after some time. Then you should not miss a person like Frank, right? Okay, she should have married her. Then again, we can argue that she had shelter and food at home, but that is not enough for her to live. She should be living, and there's a home waiting for her in Buenos Aires, right? And she will be respected then. That is a must for a girl, right? And all those things.
So we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, when they usually that picture gets highlighted, it doesn't get highlighted, isn't it?
Yes, also, of course.
Can't, yes.
Hello, can you hear me, Purnima?
Can hear, sir. Now.
All right. Yes, we shall. We missed a lot. Right. Okay. So, Evelyn, is that clear? Now everybody can hear me, no? Ashini, can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Right. Okay. Now, as far as Evelyn is concerned, right? There are, as I told you, that there are reasons for her to go with the boyfriend and not to go with the boyfriend. And please note that now when you answer, right? So you should be able to argue both, right? And Evelyn is a double victim, right? Please note them quickly. Evelyn is a double victim. She's a victim at home and she's victim at workplace also, right? Okay. In the at home, she undergoes father's violence, right? Okay, she gets palpitation due to that one, right? And she has to do all these jobs like, as I told you, cooking, washing, shopping, right? And sending the children to school
Sir,
and
we
all.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you now?
Now we can hear you,
Can,
sir.
sir.
So on and off, your voice is lagging, sir.
That may be your thing.
No.
Sir. Does everybody find my voice lagging?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
All right. Put that right. Okay, then so she's a victim at workplace because Miss Given says, "You look lively, Miss Hill. Can't you see these ladies waiting?" And Evelyn plays 4 roles at home, right? Evelyn plays 4 roles at home. One is that she's playing the role of daughter, right? She's a very good daughter to her father, right? Then she's playing the role of role of housekeeper. That's a very tough role, right? Housekeeper role is a very tough. That is obvious now. Housekeeper's role involves what I said. That is cooking, washing, cleaning, then shopping, right? And looking after the younger ones. All this is sending them to school. All right. So that's a very hard work, right? Housekeeping. Right? She's a housekeeper, she's a daughter, and she's a mother. Though she's not a biological mother, she's a mother, she's mothering 2 younger ones. That's again tough job, right? The other job she plays is that she is a breadwinner. There are 2 breadwinners in this house. She's one of them, right? Because she gives her entire wages. When she gives her entire wages, you are a breadwinner. Right, you are a breadwinner, which means that without your salary, that house cannot be run. Right, without your salary, that house cannot be run. Then you are a breadwinner now. Most of our girls in the right, they might be breadwinners as well. Right, husband with husband, sometimes with fathers, right, sometimes with mothers. They are playing a role of a breadwinner. Right. Okay. Then there's harsh criticism of urbanization in this particular short story, right? Then I told you that there's a particular line which elaborates the process of urbanization. A man from Belfast came and bought the field and put up houses in it. Unlike our little brown houses, bright brick houses with shining roof, that particular line elaborates the process of urbanization. Then though there are thousands of people living, Evelyn is left alone, right? And the dust is a symbol of urbanization. Then broken harmonium, yellow in photograph, they symbolize stagnant Dublin society, right? Stagnant Dublin society, yes. Then there are a lot of symbols in the story. I told you, dust is a symbol, shining roof is a symbol, broken harmonium is a symbol, yellow in photograph is a symbol, right? Then Frank is a name symbolism. Likewise, there are a lot of symbols used by James Joyce. Then there are a lot of techniques used by James Joyce, right? Flash forward, creating auditory imagery, creating olfactory imagery. You get the smell of dust.
Can't hear you, sir.
Visual imagery, sir, that she was keeping the purse tightened to her hand. Visual imagery. And the way she was holding onto the rods.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all that's it. Visual imagery is from the beginning to end, Fatima, right? It is I who create visual imagery in your mind, right? So then I have created my own James Joyce. And when you read also, you have different visual imagery. That is normal, right? But as far as auditory imagery, then olfactory imagery concerned, little bit, right? Clacking along the concrete pavement, crunching on the cinder path, that is olfactory, auditory, right? Then she gets the smell of dust, olfactory imagery, right? Right? Refers now. When you read my book, there are so many examples I have taken from this particular short story, Evelyn, right? You find Evelyn in so many places. Then you will understand them better, right? Okay. Then organ music, organ music is used as a reminder, right? By James Joyce. Organ music is, that is auditory, right? That is auditory. Then, right, there's so much to be said, but we do not have time to say everything. Evelyn is one of my favorite short stories, and I think one of the short stories that I do best, right? I have been teaching this short story for years, and maybe if you take, I might have taught this short story more than 25 times, right? So it is like any from a, right? You can answer me any questions and all, but we got to finish Fisherman Mourned by His Wife also, right? But I still give you, I was reading a little bit fast, right? Don't ask me, I missed this one and that one, and just listen to recording and fill the note, right? Rather than that, if you have any questions related to psychoanalytical criticism and Evelyn, how Evelyn is proven in the psychoanalytic, you may ask now. If there's any issue which is not cleared, and take the poem also in between, that is Fisherman Mourned by His Wife. Fatima, is there anything which is not clear in Evelyn?
Not now, sir. Maybe when I go through later, I might get.
Right. Then ask from somebody else. Not now? What do you mean by not now?
No, we
you
jot
can
down all the notes and also when we read and leisurely go through.
listen to the recording will be sent to you, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Listen to the recording, then you can fill the gaps. Right. Even some gap is not filled. Just let me know next day or today or whatever. Anybody else?
Sir.
Any questions? Yeah.
Sir, sir, she's a puppet in her own life and maybe to her mother's letter and mother's last will and society wishes. She's acting for that because her faithfulness to the promise to the mother.
That's too harsh to. She's a puppet. She is actually misused. She's a little bit victimized by father's violence and father, but still she's a girl with a great responsibility, and she's a girl with a lot of maturity, right? Otherwise, Purnima, now there are girls who are just eloping with boys, yandanangi, there's no maturity, right? Evelyn is, now some people argue that Evelyn has that is a crippled brain, and they call it mental retardedness, like, or some kind of mental decadence, right? That is the term they use. Evelyn is mentally decadent, right? So that means she's unable to make a decision because she's mentally not sound, right? So that's I think very funny, right? Okay, then yandanangi ha henang is it mentally strong, right? When you make a wrong decision on the surface, that now she analyzes everything and makes the decision. She's a strong personality. She's a mature girl. Though she's a young girl, she's a mature girl, Purnima, right? She's not a puppet. She's a sensitive girl, right? She's a sensitive girl. Who says whom? You.
So one day she will regret on her decision.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's it, right? You feel, Mahesh, that she would have gone with the boyfriend, no? Then only you would regret. Otherwise,
but she still have time, sir. She's 19.
Yeah, she has
19.
time.
Yeah, that Purnima, you are very positive that she will meet a better person. Is that?
Yes, that's what I thought.
Huh?
I was
Married or
thinking
not?
because the
Are
other
you married
brothers
or
will.
not?
I'm
Are
married,
you
sir,
married
but
or not?
I'm married, but other two siblings will be grown up, and then
Then
she'll have time.
better frank than what she meant. Can it
Yes.
happen, or what's possibility?
We can't
Right?
predict, sir.
We'll hope for the best, no? We'll wish
Yes.
her that, yeah, we wish her that she would meet a person, right? Okay, we'll see after 2-3 years whether she has met, right? Okay, right. So you are being inspired by the show story. That's why you have so many questions to ask. Anything else? Very quickly. Right, Dania Nizar, can I hear you?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Right. Then is everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, good. Chamil,
Sir,
yes. Tell me.
so we are inspired because of your explanation, the way how you explain. It takes to, although we are at our houses with all those choices, but still we are taken to the story. And
Right, good. Now I am going to take you to the beach, huh? Right? I'm going. Can you hear me? Hello?
yes, can hear.
Right. Yes, I am going to take you to the beach, and there's a small hut, right? You might have seen small huts near the beach, just beyond the beach, where this fishing community is living, right? There's a woman with small kids, right? And she has just got to know that her husband is disappeared and there's no trace of the husband. Then later she gets to know that her husband's dead body was found, and dead body was taken to the forest, that is undertakers, right? And she's having a recollection of her life, right? She's going down in her memory lane, right? Evelyn was also going down in memory lane, and she was coming to present, and she was going to future also. But here, mostly, she was going down in the memory lane, and at the end of the poem, she comes back, right? But it is a very harsh reality, right? Present is very harsh reality. She's deserted. She's left alone with 3-4 children, right? And only income earner, only breadwinner is gone, right? And a very bleak future. If you don't have children, you would have a high possible chance to get married again. If you have one child, you have again chance. But when you are left alone with 2-3 children, you know, people do not like to get married to ready-made families, right? Okay, then in such a calamity, in such a tragedy, she is there. And this is, right, a fisherman mourned by his wife, one of the best Sri Lankan poems, right? Patrick Fernando is one of the best Sri Lankan poets that we have ever had, right? This is early Sri Lankan poetry in English, right? Early Sri Lankan poetry in English. Patrick Fernando and Lagdasa Wickramasinghe actually started this trend of Sri Lankan poetry in English, right? Okay, yes. Then I told you it's going down in the memory lane. So she's paying a lot of attention to her kind of romantic memories, which are quite ironic with the present situation, right? That romantic memories are quite ironic with the present situation, right? Okay, it's a psychological analysis of a young girl who just lost her husband, right? Who just lost her husband, right? And there's a lot of thoughts coming into her mind, and she was so much frightened, and she gets insecurity feelings, everything. Out of everything, she's going to this romantic moments that she had in her life, and their private life, right? The life she shared with this husband, right? Young husband, right? The husband is also a naive character. He was not so much right? He was also a naive character. When she got married, they married young, right? And it was a fresh experience and all, right? Then so she's reminded of all those right? I think Patrick Fernando is so much inspired by D.H. Lawrence's short story. Has anybody read that short story? Beautiful short story, Order of Chrysanthemum, right? Order of Chrysanthemum by D.H. Lawrence. Now, you better write that story, right? In your free time, read that story. And we will give you more marks if you quote certain points from that short story also to this point, right? Order of Chrysanthemum, there also a woman is reminded of her past on the day that husband dies, right? Okay, so Order of Chrysanthemum, that's a
So can you
superb short
repeat that?
story by D.H. Lawrence, right? The title of the order, the smell. Order of Chrysanthemum. Order of Chrysanthemum. When you type it, you will get Order of Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum is kind of flowers that you find in Europe, maybe in England, right? He's an English writer. He's one of the main modernist writers now. D.H. Lawrence, Anton Chekhov, Ernest Hemingway, and this, our favorite, that is James Joyce. They were writing at the same time, right? I'm so much inspired by James Joyce's writing. I love his writing, right? So I always say that Evelyn is one of the best short stories. If you want to find out what a short story is, read Evelyn, right? The particular language, characterization, themes, symbols, techniques, so rich, right? Okay. Yes, it's a flashback, I told you, and coming to the present, right? This is also a psychological analysis and interior monologue, right? It is an interior monologue. Interior, the person is talking to himself, right? Interior monologue. Interior monologue is explained in the book. Hashiba Ramzan. Can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Right. Some people said that it is not, the book is not available. It can be, they need to find. Now, did you get a chance to buy the book?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
we can
you?
order it online as well, sir.
Is
I
there?
brought it like that. Yeah, I brought it down to Kuwait. My sister from Sri Lanka, she ordered it and it was delivered within 2 to 3 days, like, sir.
Ah.
So yeah, and then she sent it through a colleague of my husband, and I received it very quickly, like within a week's time.
How much it
So
cost?
it's accessible. 300 something, sir. Not that much, I guess. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that
She didn't tell me the price. She said it's not that much. It doesn't cost that much, sister. It's just anyhow.
The price of
She
the book.
gifted it to me. It's written, I guess, 350, sir.
Yeah.
So the courier charges, hopefully, I guess it will be around 300 something, maybe.
Yeah. Now
So it's easily accessible. So you don't have to worry about going there and getting it. You can get them online as well.
Look, Mahisha's message others can get now. Even Candy students, I send some books to Candy Sarasavi, and all the Sarasavis, I think it's available because they buy around 150 books every month, right? Advertisement is again gone, right? Right. When you were not quite 30, underline, not quite 30, and the sun has not yet stained you into all both brown, right? Remember, he's a fisherman, right? So even in the daytime, they pull the nets and all, they are burned because, is it okay now? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I guess, sir.
Previous we didn't hear, sir.
Right. Right. When you are not 30 and the sun and not 10, right? Which means that now she's talking to her husband, right? Then this is he was, now you were not 10 in the sense that these people are working in the sun, right? Even in the daytime they pull the nets and all, right? So they are burned now. Their skin color get different once they grow up because of the heat they associated with, at the beaches it's very hot, right? Then not yet 10 means not got the color. You were so young when I met you, right? And brought down when you were you were not quite 30, and I and had not begun to embittered like the rest. Embittered means becoming bitter, like becoming spoiled, right? I told you he was also inexperienced boy, like, right? Though he was just not 30, maybe 24, 25, right? Such maybe 27 or 28, but he was not 30. Then he was not so much used to this sort of jobs or being in the sun or anything, right? And he was not, he did not have any experience with the girls or anything. So he was naive also, embittered, like he was not embittered like the rest. Now, she might have met other boys who were spoiled by that time, but he was
So
naive.
can we say he was pure, like
Yeah, no, you can't say.
virgin, like?
There are no pure people, only me, right? There are no pure people, you can't, right? So, right? So it's a, what do you call it? This we get manorajika, that is ideal world situation, right? Okay, embittered like the rest and not grown, obsessed with death. Underline obsessed with death. Obsessed means overindulgent, right? So obsessed with money means he does not think anything but money, right? Some people are obsessed with women, always going after women, going around the women, they don't do anything. Some people are obsessed with music. Some people are obsessed with sports, right? You don't need to be obsessed with anything. You don't need to even obsessed with education, right? If you get obsessed with education, your life is not balanced, right? While doing education and all studies, you have to do other things also, right? Some people get obsessed with liquor, right? Okay, likewise, obsession is not here. Obsessed with death. Obsessed with death is her kind of destiny, kind of fate, because every day when they go to sea, they are facing the danger of life, right? Anything can happen. It's not like our job, right? When I do my job, there is a very least chance that I would be killed while I do the job, because there are no threats as such. But when with regard to this toddy tapping, right, and fishing, they are very risky jobs, right? So that's why she says obsessed with death, right? Okay, obsessed with death. Then you would come, right? Okay, obsessed with death, because with this being in the sea, you would come just after, right? Come hot with conscience, right? Hot with conscience means there. And now you would come hot with, I mean, sexual needs, right? Sexual needs. They married so young, right? So you come immediately after you come, you demand, you just try to have sex with me, like, right? So that is what she says, right? Hot with conscience means kind of erection, right? Okay, erection and control of greed for sex and all is now something to do with sexuality, right? Then upon the sea, chased as a gull. Chase means direct as a seagull. The birds are, there are certain birds who are flying in a straight line, right? Flying in a straight line now, like directly flight. So you come to the sea and directly come to our heart, right? Okay, chased as a gull of flying pointed home, right? In a haste, in a hurry to be with me. Underline, to be with me. So she's reminded of the early days of their marriage, right? Just after the marriage. Now, so he was there in the sea maybe for 2-3 days or one day, the whole day, whole night, but he comes to be with her, right? Comes to be with her, right? With now with so much of sexual desires and all, right? Okay, so one of the important things that you have to you should refer to Patrick Fernando is that Patrick Fernando speaks of sexuality, right? But he doesn't speak of sexuality like Kamala Das does in India, right? But he's now to Isabel and all, something to do with sex, right? Sexuality they discuss, right? It's very rare as far as our Sri Lankan writers are concerned. Sri Lankan, right? They always talk about nature and romanticism and all, but sex.
Can't hear you, sir.
If you, right? Patrick Fernando is one of them.
We missed
Now that
few lines.
being few lines in the same, chased as a gull flying pointed home in a chase to be with me, that you did not miss, I think. Did you?
Yes, Patrick Fernando discusses sexuality. That thing we heard, sir.
Right. So that, yes, I told you that it's very rare. Most of the writers in Sri Lankan literature in English, they speak about environment, romanticism, and the class and all. But he is special case who discusses sex. Did you hear that, Maheshi? Did you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Then now that being dead, you're beyond detection, right? Underline, you're beyond detection. That means now, no way that I can keep you. I can't detain you now, right? And I need not to be discreet, right? I don't want to maintain the privacy now because you are gone, right? I don't want to be shy with myself because you are gone, right? Let us confess, underline. So I can confess with you, right? It was not love that married us, no affection, right? Underline, it was not love that married us, no affection. Now, if I say that I was attracted to you from the very beginning and all that, she says it's a lie, right? It was kind of a proposed marriage, right? So she began to love him and she began to love him after the marriage. Love begins after the marriage, not before that. Right? So that is the nature of this the proposal in Sri Lankan context, right? Okay, let us confess, it was not love that married us, both affection, but elders' persuasion. So that's proposal, right? But elders' persuasion, okay, that boy is good, you marry him, right? They say it's good, and you don't get a chance to find out whether the person is good or not, right? Okay, you see the person properly on the wedding day. Sometimes not on that day. You are shy to look at him, right? Okay. Likewise, you love begins after the marriage, right? Love begins after the marriage. But another person, not even loneliness, right? You can't say, I was so lonely, I wanted to be married. No, I did not want to marry. Likewise, you did not feel any loneliness or need for marriage. But that's the nature of that's the case in those days. Now referring to 80s and 70s, younger the better for marriage, right? Younger the better marriage. If you are over 20, you are eligible to be married, right? For a girl, right? Sooner the better, they thought, right? But it was not even loneliness. Recall how first you were so impatient and afraid, right? Now she's reminded of the first night, their honeymoon night. They did not go to hotels or anywhere, right? Maybe they are in own hut, small huts around the beach, right? They recall how you were so impatient and afraid. My eyes were open in the dark, unlike in love. So she was also so excited, right? He was on the top of her. Her eyes were open, dark, unlike in love, trembling, right? Trembling because she also did not have that experience in sexuality, and she was trembling, right? Less means in order that in fear, due to fear, you let me go, maid. And she was so nervous that now my virginity will be remain, right? He won't be able to do that because he was also very excited, right? She was so nervous that he wouldn't be able to do it, right? Okay, you let me go, maid. Trembling on the other hand, so he was also trembling, right? For my virginity, right? For my virginity, you might keep me a virgin, so you may not be able to do it or something, right? She was nervous on that front also because she was so nervous that he was nervous, right? So that was first night experience she's sharing with us, right? She says, now I can confess. I have to confess. This is what happened, right? All this is interior monologue. She's talking within her mind, right? It's a psychological narration, right? She's not narrating to anyone, but she's talking to herself, right? Okay, she's talking to herself, not anyone else. She's talking to herself, right? Okay, 3 months. The monsoon thrashed the sea. Now she refers to Varakan. In the Varakan season, the fishermen do not go to go to sea, right? They do other jobs like repairing nets and other things, right? Okay, 3 months the monsoon trashed the sea, and you remain at home, right? So you make use in that opportunity. He was mostly at home, right? The sky cracked like a shell, and it was pouring down the rain in thunder, and the rain broke through. Nothing you could do, right? Okay, outside. At last, when the pouring ceased and storm wind fell, right? The Varakan stops, right? The strong wind comes, then you can go to sea again, right? The time changes, the season changes, right? When the gulls return, the birds are returning, right? So you know there are migrant birds in the rainy season, they go elsewhere and come back, right? So who is the Maheshi, who is the most famous migrant bird we have in Sri Lanka? Who is the most popular and famous migrant bird we have in Sri Lanka?
It's a cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo bird, right? What is the season he comes? Which period? He's there these days.
Aurudu season, sir.
Yeah.
It's available around February, March, and then it leaves around June, July, August.
You have
But
seen.
sometimes even in the period we can, hear the sound and all. Sometimes even off season when we hear it, I remember the lark of Happy Prince.
For what they come for?
For the climatic changes, I guess.
Spring.
That is what you guess.
To seek a partner.
Yeah, to mate. Right? To mating. That is so koho is that sound is I mean it's a sexual call.
The call of love, yes, sir. Yes, the
call
call
for the
of
partner.
love.
Yeah, call of love and sex, right? The partner to have sex, right? So that's the beauty of our country. Everybody comes for sex, right? So that's up, right? So we can't blame the people. People have been impressed by those things and all. But then not again. Mr. Anything, right? Poor people, right? Then you let me go in May and trembling on the other hand of my vision. 3 months, the monsoon packed and all, then pouring is ceased from winds fell. When gulls return new, right? The new time begins, new era begins. The plump and wild, right? So then there are trees coming, and when in the wind tone flamboyant, new buds broke. Flamboyant means very showy, colorful, right? Flamboyant means colorful buds. Sorry, buds means pohottu, right? New flowers, bosom, right? When new flowers comes with different colors, that means refreshing the environment.
Sir, we can't hear you, sir.
New
It's glitching
season
again.
comes, right? That was a new era for their life, right? So, did you hear that new buds are coming up? That flamboyant means very colorful. Do you hear me now?
Colorful, sir. So does this mean new life?
New life, new beginning.
New life.
She got pregnant, right? She got pregnant. It's a new leaf in their life, right? After Varakan, when she begins his job, right? She was pregnant. In that period, she got pregnant because he was most of the time at home, right? All these 2.5 months, right? Trembling on, right? Then I was with child. She goes. It's a recollection from the beginning to end life, right? How we first met, how we got married, for what reasons we got married, then how we had sex, right? Then how I got pregnant and all, right? She's narrating to herself. Interior monologue, psychological expression, right? Okay. Then I was with child.
Sir,
Again, you can't hear me.
No, sir, we can hear you. So can we say it's a memory of flashback?
That is what I told you at the beginning. It's going down in the memory lane, right? It's a whole thing is a flashback up to now. At the end only, the poem comes to the present, right? The whole poem is set in the past. That is Now this fisherman's wife going down in the memory lane, right? Fisherman's wife going down in the memory lane. How they met, how they got married, for what reasons they got married, then how they had sex, how she got pregnant and all, right? Okay. Then everything happened in the past. My face was wan. Wan means pale. While telling you, now she could still recalls, right? She could still recall the occasion she breaks this news, right? Now the time that the particular day that she tells her husband, right? I'm pregnant, right? I'm pregnant, and his reaction, because it was a truly fresh experience, right? They never expected or something. Even he did not expect. So he was also so excited, and she was so excited to share this news, right? Okay. My first face was wan. She was pale. She was also nervous to say. She was shy to say, right? Telling you the voice fell low. The voice fell low. Me කියලා කියලා මට බබෙක් හම්බෙන්නේ. Mansi, did you hear that? Huh? Did you hear what I said?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
අර low voice එකකින් කියප එක ඇහුණාද?
No, sir. No.
ඒකනේ. Right? Now, මේ කියලා කතා කරලා husband කියන මට බබෙක් හම්බෙන්නේ. Mansi ඇහුණාද?
Yes, sir. Now I heard.
Right. Okay.
Excuse me, you are a good actor, sir. If you can.
Yes.
Then,
We are laughing at homes.
right. Right. Okay. You might have heard this, right? Then you seems to pull, right? My face was wan, and then you fell low. My voice fell low, and you seemed full of guilt underlying. You felt full of guilt. And when I said that, when I broke the news, right? You felt that as if you had done a mistake or something wrong to me, like so, because that is sheer innocence of man, right? Okay, you seem full of guilt and not to know whether to repent or rejoice over the situation, right? So that's what I told you. He was also a naive boy. He was not so much mature. He did not have a lot of experience in these matters and all, right? Okay, maybe he hasn't heard of these things or shared these kind of experience with his friends also. He did not have that, so he felt guilty, like he has done a mistake, and he was so shy to look into her face when she says that, and he did not know whether to repent or whether to be sorry or whether to be happy, right? Right then, repent or rejoice over the situation. You nodded, and he went suddenly at the ground and went to see. He nodded at the ground, not to her, right? He nodded at the ground and went to see. But soon I was to you more than God or temptation. Then we got now. After the marriage, they became so close to each other. They shared everything together. After the child, they became even more closer. They became closer, right? Okay. But soon I was to you more than God or temptation, and so were you to me. The last two lines suggest that how deep the relationship has been, not was, of course, right? How close they were as husband and wife, right? They were not so rich. They did not have everything at home, but they were so close to each other, right? They had love, right? So that is what, right? One can say, Maheshi, mage nivase boho de tibe boho de nata, right? Sometimes you may have TV, fridges, and all these luxury equipments, but love is lacking, right? But you may not have a lot of equipments and other luxury items, but you may have love at home, right? So mage nivase boho de ata boho de nata, right? That is the attitude that you have, what you want most, right? What is the best thing that you can give your children? The best thing that you can give your children is peaceful home environment, right? Not computers or phones or other things, right? Have that in your mind. But soon I was to you more than God and temptation, or temptation. More than a temptation, you were like God to me, and I was a goddess to you, right? I was a goddess to you. So they became, the bond becomes very strong after the after she been pregnant, right? So it happens naturally,
So what's
right?
meant
Okay.
by temptation in this, like the worldly things or the wealth they are, she meant?
God or temptation. So I
Temptation,
was,
yes.
oh yes, I was to you more than God or temptation. So that means now God we respect most, right? And the temptation dominate our life, right? So more than temptation and God, you were the number one for me. Maisha, is
Got
that
it,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir. Right. Got it.
You were number one for me, and for me also. Now for you also, more than God and temptation, I was the first priority, right? Got the point, right? That is for reciprocal,
Such bonds,
Yes, sir. Yes.
right?
They have
Reciprocal
such
for
a
both,
bond.
right? Then, but so yes, and you to me. Then, yes, men may come and men may go. Now, the time comes to present, right? There are sweet memories, very beautiful memories that she was recollection that she was going down in the memory lane. The whole thing was a flashback, but it's a pleasant memory, right? Not harsh memories like Evelyn had, right? Okay, those are very pleasant memories. Men come and go, right? At a funeral, people come and go. Some say they understand, right? So the dead body is not brought yet, right? But people come, right? Even before hearing the news, getting to know the news, they come, right? They say they understand. People say, our children weep, right? Elder children weep, right? The youngest things, you are fast asleep. Right? Right? He doesn't come, but don't forget that. Yes, now the funeral, our body is there, right? Body is there. Today is the funeral day. That last activities are today, right? He's lying in the coffin, right? The youngest thing that father is asleep, but the other children understand and they cry because father doesn't get up. There is fear and wonderment. Underline fear and wonderment. So she says, these two things will dominate my life. I will be wondering what to do, right? Now you can understand. You can wear her shoes, right? Maheshi, try to wear her shoes, right? If it happens to us, what would be doing, right? She's deserted with 4 children alone, right? And she's not, she hasn't done any craft, and she has no job skills, right? She has no job skills. She has to master, right? And it was the husband was the sole breadwinner. He's gone. They don't have pension. They don't have EPF, right? From next day, they have no income whatsoever. Yeah, look at the life, right? Impermanency of life, right? Impermanency of life. Then you can jobs we do, right? How lucky our dependent, right? We don't lose our life like this, right? Okay, right? We don't lose our life like this. How lucky our dependents are, right? Okay, the youngest thing that you are asleep and fear and wonderment. You had grown to, you had grown so here as mine hand. Underline. That's a beautiful simile given. You have to right? That is a
Sir, can you which line to be underlined because it was lagging, sir.
You had grown so familiar as my hand. Fear and wonderment you underline. You had grown so familiar as my hand, because it's like we were close and you were so handy to me. You were so helpful. Like I
Can't hear you, sir. Can't hear.
In singular,
Till the line is
එයා
lagging.
මගේ දකුණු අත වගේ හිටියේ.
We miss those lines, sir.
Right now, you had grown so familiar as my hand. Have you underlined that?
We
You had
underline
grown
that.
right, which means that he was like my right hand, so he was so close to me. මගේ දකුණු අත නැති වුණා වගේ කියලා. Have you heard of it singular term?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That shows that is so much valuable, like,
Valuable and useful, and
with
without
useful,
it now,
helpful.
without your right hand,
We
you can't do
cannot survive. Yes, we cannot
Yeah.
survive without that person.
That's it, right? So that I cannot with simply grieve, underline that I cannot with simply grieve assuage, that is assume. This men Herman means that is this means that is I cannot simply forget, right? I can outside the wind. Despoils means outside the wind is moving, right? The Herman is supposed to be kind of maybe a place or something. This meant now there's assuage. This meant that there. I will check and let you know what it means. However, what is said here is that I cannot simply survive without you. I cannot simply be with. I can simply lead this life, right? Because trees that use then they our outside the wind despoils. Despoils means the struggling, destroying of leaf tree, because it's after Varakan, now it's very strong wind, right? Trees that it used to nurse, right? The trees are shaken by the strong wind. Once more the flamboyant is torn, underline. The once more the flamboyant is torn. In a flamboyant time, I got pregnant, right? That means the Varakan is over, new season begins with the buds, beautiful, colorful buds, right? The time has again come, but it's a totally two different seasons. At that time, you were with me and I was pregnant. Now I have left, you have left me with 4 children and you are gone, right? The season begins, but you are not there, right? One harsh reality that is reminded here is that people are born, people die, but the season continues. Time goes by. You have to deal with the time, right? That's a harsh reality, right? There's a saying in English: time and tide wait for no man. If people are there or not, tide comes and goes, right? Time also like flies. Whether we are sleeping or studying or whatever we do, time flies, right? Time flies, right? Then once more the flamboyant is torn. The sky cracks like a shell again. Again the rain may begin, right? Varakan may come. So someone practical has gone to make them bring the hearse before the rain, because every day, even these days, Manisha, every day these days now we are having rain by sometimes by 2, but sometimes by 3. Yesterday we had heavy rain, right? So the someone practical has gone to bring the hearse to take the coffin to the cemetery before the rain, right? That someone practical reminds and gives a message that you need to be practical too, right? You need to be practical too. You can't just repenting over the death and waste time, right? You need to be practical because you are left alone with children, right? For children's sake, you need to be practical, right? For children's sake, you need to be practical. You must act accordingly, right? The someone practical. දැනුම් තේරුම් තියෙන කෙනෙක් හර්ස් එක ගේන්න ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේක අවබෝධ වෙන කෙනෙක්, right? දැම්මම හර්ස් එක ගේන්න ගිහලා before rains we have to bury, right? We have to bury the remains, right? Likewise, the someone practical means, right, the wife is reminded, the fisherman's wife is reminded to be practical like him, right? Crying may pacify a little bit of things, but Crying may lessen your grief, whatever, but you can't keep on crying. You need to be practical, right? You can't be lost in the past. You must come to the present. That is what is done at the end of the poem, right? Deal with the
Sir, can't hear, sir.
not the past. Right?
We
Is that
could
clear,
hear you, sir.
Achamika?
Last few lines we heard, sir.
Now, someone need to be practical. I told you, heard it, no? Someone need to be practical.
Yes.
Practical.
Yes.
Someone practical reminds you, reminds the girl that you need to be practical.
Yeah, we heard that you said you can't, the past must come to the present life.
That's what, right? That's what I told us. Now, Chamika, Ruanti,
Yes, sir.
is that clear what I said?
Yes, sir.
Right? The final message is that you can't be lost in the past, must deal with the present, right? Because there are a lot of responsibilities before you. You can't be lost in the past, and you can't all the time repenting over the death. This is reality in life. Harsh realities, you must be ready to live your life alone at any moment, right? All your loved and near ones may leave you one day, or you may leave them one day, right? The meeting, parting is part of, behind the meeting. Behind every meeting, there is parting, right? Everybody parts, right? Okay, one day you have to leave, right? This is unfortunate because it's too early, quite untimely death of the fisherman, right? But it is a psychological struggle she's undergoing, and in a way she's lost in romanticism. At the same time, she's reminded of the responsibilities and the way she should act, right? The someone practical is a very important symbol used in this poem, right? The someone practical is a reminder employed by Patrick Pennant, right? Someone, you also need to be someone like that, right? Practical in the present situation. Absent, no? Erandi is absent. She never talked to me, right? Harshini Amarasinghe, who is that?
Erandi, sir.
Yes.
Erandi. Now, is the poem clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
No questions, right? Now, psychoanalytical theory is also clear, right? The mind analysis, psychological analysis. Gayatri Pereira, can I hear you? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Right. Is the poem clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then, all right. So, time has come to stop, right? So, I must do now. Then, anything which is not clear, you can ask. Psychoanalytical theory is also done next day, right? Next 2 days are very important. We are going to do the most important theories, of course. That is, post-colonial theory will be followed by Marxist theory, right? We take at least 3 days to do these 2 theories. That's then, and those theories are, I think, all are important, but these are a little bit more important. That is post-colonial theory and Marxist theory. That is very common, right? It will be followed by new historicism. Then the syllabus is done, right? We have already completed 4 theories, 3 more theories to be done.
Sir, what about mid-semester exam? Do we have?
Yeah, mid-semester
literature?
exam. Mid-semester exam is going to be dealing with only reader response theory, right? What you have to do is that you have to explain reader response theory briefly, and we will give you a poem. You have to analyze that poem in reader response theory. right? Reader response theory in the way you like. Your own interpretation should be divided, right?
Still, we were not announced the
give
date.
you right, the date will be announced and the paper will be posted on that day. You will be given a tute, given a poem that you don't find notes on. Don't try to find notes. It's a Sri Lankan poem, right? Then so you have to comment on the poem the way you feel. Reader's response. Whatever the techniques you identify, whatever the symbols you identify, you comment on. Right? Themes you identify, right? Whatever the thing that you identify, you can comment on that one. That's all. Right? Shall I wind up then? Huh? No questions.
So for the mid-exam, are we having a poem, I mean, out of the syllabus or in the syllabus?
No, out of the syllabus.
Okay.
Reader response means your responses, right? You have to comment on the poem, the theme that you assure, right? It's not a tough poem, right? Then you can comment on the wording, you can comment on the stanza, you can comment on the language, you can comment on the symbols, themes, metaphors, similes if there are, right? Then the characters involved in there so much. It's your version. It's a reader's response, right? Too easy.
Okay, sir. So today the fisherman mourned by his wife.
Don't
what is
say
the
that the test is too easy and please make it tough. What is the?
Okay,
you
sir.
ask the theme or something?
Yes, sir. The fisherman mourned by his wife. Today's poem. What is the main theme of the poem? The impermanency of life.
Yeah, one thing is that impermanency of life. The other one is that how the sudden losses affect people, right? Untimely deaths, right? Then the fisherman's life, right? Fisherman's lifestyle, the lifestyle of fishing community, right? Lifestyle of fishing community.
Melancholic
right?
tone, sir. Melancholic tone of a like wife
of a fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That romantic, yes, romanticism, then love, right, and family life, all are there, right? The bond, husband and wife bond, right? All those things are there, right? Then impermanency, everything, and you can't be lost in the past. You have to deal with the present, however harsh it may be.
So can
right?
we call
However
it an
harsh it may be, you have to deal with it. What?
Can we call it elegy?
Yeah, that is the poem is an elegy, right? Elegic poem. Elegy means repenting over a dead person or gone thing. Yes, I good that you reminded it, right? This poem is an elegy, right? This poem is an elegy. You can find out even in my book, I have explained what elegy is, right? Elegy means that you are writing a song of praise or poem of praise of a dead person or gone thing, right? Okay. මා මලපසු සොහොන් පොතේ දුක්ගීයක් ලියනු මැනවි ඒ දුක්ගීය තමයි elegy, right? Sorrowful song that is sung in praising a dead person, right? Taj Mahalak තනවන්න බෑ මට.
So that means the theme can be differed from person to person. We can.
No, yes, themes are there, right? Themes are the same. Some people find it, this is the main theme. Some people, and whatever the theme that I did not talk about, you can comment on. Sometimes you might get a new point, new idea, new symbol, new metaphor, new simile. That's good, right? That's better. You need to be creative. I have been so creative the way I can in the poem. I'm not depending on anybody's note or anything. I'm analyzing and teaching you, right? You got to analyze in a better way with my මගේ කරට කකුල තියලා උඩට යන්න. right? ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මම මෙහෙම පීදා ගන්න. Right? You can keep your foot there and go up. Right? Keep me as a pedestal, like keep me as a stepping stone, and you better go up. Right? I would be more than happy. All right. Then shall we wind up? Okay. So then Bai will be meeting most probably next week or week after. So I am conducting this Candy class also. Last few days I was conducting Candy class. They are left alone and I had to start from the beginning. Right? Anybody who has missed early lessons, you can join Candy class also. I'll be doing these things for Candy class again maybe next week. You can check with and come for that classes also. Right? Then bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, sir.